50s on Sirius XM. Hi everyone, it's Michelle Devora-Khan from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and I'm back for another episode of my Nifty 50s on Sirius XM 50s Gold. Today I'm going to be spinning some of my favorites, dedicated to some of my favorite people. I know firsthand just how special it is to have a song dedicated to you on the radio. When I was 15, Rockin' Ray Michaels of Oldies 1150 CKOC out of Hamilton, Ontario, dedicated I Can See for Miles by The Who just to me. I'm 35, and I still talk about that moment all the time, and anytime I hear that song, I think it's played just for me. I think everyone deserves a song dedicated to them on the radio, and that's why, for my first choice, I want to dedicate it to all of you listening. Here's It's a Good Day by Perry Como from 1955. Thank you so much for joining me again on another episode of my Nifty 50s. And this one's for you.
It's a good day, singing this song, and it's a good day.
I'm Michelle Devora-Khan, and you're listening to my Nifty 50s on Sirius XM 50s Gold. So in my last episode, I mentioned that I'm a filmmaker and that I love old movies. So for my second song, I'd like to dedicate it to one of my favorite actors, Marlon Brando. I discovered him when I was about 11 years old, and I've been a mega fan ever since. I spent so many hours watching so many of his films, and I'm talking about The Godfather, The Men, On the Waterfront, One-Eyed Jacks, and my favorite of his, A Streetcar Named Desire. I had his picture all over my bedroom walls, all over my locker, and I had this dream that one day I was going to get to meet him and tell him how much his work meant to me. And then in 2004, he sadly passed away, and I remember just sitting in my room crying, and a friend even called me from school. She called me to send her condolences because she knew how upset I would be. And his work, it continues to inspire me to this day. As a method actor, I look to Brando for inspiration when I'm preparing for a role. And I watch all his films again, and I even have a hat similar to the one he wore in 1953 in The Wild One. I got that after I saw the film. And sometimes I'll put that on, and that'll help me. I'll wear that, and that'll help me prepare for whatever role I'm tackling. So for my second song, I'd like to dedicate it to Marlon Brando. This is You'll Never Know by The Platters.
You'll never know. You'll never know I can.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to my Nifty 50s on Sirius XM 50s Gold. And I'm your host, Michelle, from Canada. As I mentioned earlier, I live in Ottawa, that's the capital of Canada, with my husband, Manny, and our two children, Herschel and Ophelia. Herschel's 3 years old, everyone calls him Hershey. And my daughter Ophelia, who everyone calls Opie, is a year and a half. They are so adorable and so sweet, and Manny and I say all the time how blessed we are to have them. And one of our favorite times of day is really bedtime, because that's the time we all get to relax, unwind, read stories, sing songs, and just focus on each other. So for the third song, I'm going to dedicate it to Opie and Hershey, and Manny too. Here's Hushabye by the Mystics. And that was Hushabye by the Mystics from 1959. Such a sweet song. You know, my daughter is named after my grandmother. Her name was Olga, and she was born in Syria, and later met my grandfather in Beirut, Lebanon, and then came to Canada. She lived in Toronto until she passed away in 2016. I'm actually very lucky. When I was in high school, I made my first documentary It's called Wanted, the Joseph S. story, and it's the story of my grandfather, a Jewish man who escaped from Syria in 1950. And when I sat down to interview him, I made sure to not just interview my grandmother about, her time with my grandfather, but her life and her family as well. So I got more of an opportunity than most people. I got to really learn about where I come from. My grandparents were very unique people. My grandfather, he only ever wore a suit, full suit, even at the beach. My grandmother you always knew she was in the room. She was very loud. You knew when she was there. My grandparents were really, really fun people, and they had a lot of fun music they used to listen to, like the next song that I'm going to be sharing with you. It's Ya Mustafa from 1960, sung by Bob Azam. The opening lines translate to, "Darling, I love you and adore you like tomato sauce." Like I said, this is a very fun, happy song. You're going to hear Arabic, French, and Italian. This song was a big part of my childhood. We played it at every wedding, at every bar bat mitzvah, my own included, and I know we're going to do the same for my children and the next generation. Everybody enjoy Ya Mustafa from 1960, sung by Bob Azam, and this one goes out to my grandparents, Joseph and Olga. Tate and Jito, we love you, we miss you, and we hope you're dancing and clapping along with us. I told you that was a fun song. I had a great time. I hope you all did too. And before we get to my fifth and final dedication, I just want to thank all of you for joining me today for another episode of My Nifty 50s. I'm Michelle Dvorak-Khan. Thank you so much again to SiriusXM 50s Gold for inviting me back for another episode. And I hope you all visit me on the app. For the next 2 weeks, I'll be up there. Just check out the SiriusXM app. Type in the search bar My Nifty 50s, and my episode, Michelle K, should come up right there. I would like to dedicate my fifth song to everyone who has served and everyone who is currently serving in the armed forces, all of their families, and to the memory of those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you for all you do to keep us safe. May God bless you and continue to keep you safe. This is Michelle Dvorak-Khan. Over and out.
Which songs make your Nifty 50s list? Email 50s at SiriusXM.com, and we'll be listening for you on 50s Gold. The listener becomes the DJ. My Nifty 50s on SiriusXM. Hear this show anytime, at home, on your phone, computer, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
Your program has ended. Thank you for listening. Continue exploring the SiriusXM app to discover more from your favorite artists and channels.
Just a little bit longer. Well, I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh yeah, say I got a woman way over town, good to me. Oh yeah, she give me money when I'm in need. Never grumbles or fusses, always treats me right. Never running in the streets and leaving me alone. She knows a woman's place is right there now in her home. I got a woman way over town.